I know that. Okay. So, okay, great, great. So, in that way, then the conversation gets tuned for people who, we can talk so much more. Okay, great. Joanna says that she's heard a little bit about it. Okay. Who here is like, it's the first time concept? Feminine archetypes, at least, is like a first time concept to you. First timers? And we are first timers. Yes, I see one hand raised. And it's beautiful to be a first timer at something, at life in itself. But let me tell you all, no one is a first timer when it comes to um, archetypical work. We will describe what are different archetypes, but do you know your sun signs? So working with your sun signs is a type of archetypical work. Do you know your, how many of you know your MBTIs? Or exactly, how many of you know your human design? I know exactly. So working with your human design is a form of working with a sort of an archetype, but I'll tell you the difference between a stereotype and archetype and why this kind of work is so much more exciting, interesting, right? So we are at 4:02. I think we can start in honor of everyone who's joined here already. Um, yeah. So, welcome everyone to this beautiful new moon session that we are going to be having today. And at the end of today's class, I hope you have a lot of clarity and a connection to yourself and a more whole person, become a more wholesome person by the end of today's class. So, give yourself a huge thank you for joining on a Monday evening. Everyone's lives are busy. You've taken this time out to and I'm going to make it super valuable for you, and I hope that these next 60 to 90 minutes is like chock-a-block filled with value for each one of you. So let's start with the first question, which I started with. If you have ever heard of archetypes or worked with archetypes, and not many have. Diana says that it is 12:30 lunchtime where she is. Great. We are, I mean, just post lunch, so it can be postprandial for a lot of us as well. So, yeah. And I do believe that there's a replay somewhere. For people who have yet to join us. So, the difference between stereotypical work and archetypical work is this. When you know, oh, I am a sun sign like this, and then there are certain types of traits which we give, oh, Virgos are very this, and Librans are very this, or INTJ MBTI is like this, or, projectors are like this, generators always have a lot of energy, and I'm a projector human design. And when I came to know that, oh, projectors have low energy, and I always have low energy, so I was like, no wonder I started using it as an excuse. I also started to really not like the fact that I'm that, and blame. So there's a lot of victimhood playment also in that. But with archetypical work, archetypes help you to expand your personality. They help you to create newer versions of yourself, become more authentically you, more multidimensionally you, and it also helps you to explore, get curious about different aspects of yourself, right? It unboxes you, literally unboxes you. So, how did I get into this archetypical work? Samvedana has her hands raised. Put in all the questions in the chat so that the flow doesn't get broken, and I'll read whatever is written and I'll answer to that, right? So we'll take all the like audio questions maybe later at the end of the class, but whatever you have doubts, just put it in the chat and I'll answer to that, right? So this was about, I would say, 4 or 5 years back. It was a Women's Day. And on that Women's Day, I got one of those, cliched messages, woman. You are a mother, you are a daughter, you are a sister, you are so many things to the world, and we salute you, or something like that. And it irritated me to no end. Maybe I was hormonal, whatever, but I was like, what is this? I mean, every role, I mean, there is just so much of pressure on this. I have to be a mother, I have to be a daughter. What if I don't have a kid? What if I don't have a partner? Then what is my astitva? My astitva, or my esteem in my life, is only by the roles that I play in society. What if I don't want any roles in society? Do I have no standing? Then am I not a woman at all? Like, what am I? Like, am I only equated to the roles that I play, or the things that I do? And that's when I came up with archetypes, and I differentiated between roles and archetypes. So roles is what we do, archetypes is who we are, what we get to be, right? Roles are in relation to someone else. So you're a mother only if you have a child, you're a wife only if you have a husband, you are a employer only when you have employees, you are a businesswoman only when you have a business, you are something only when you have something in relation to. On the other hand, archetypical work is not like that. You can be in the archetype of a queen even when you don't have a queendom, even if you don't have subjects. You can be in your maternal archetype even without a child. You can be in your lover archetype even without a partner. So it frees you up, it lets you be in your most magnificent without relying on anyone else's, presence in your life. And the last thing is that it roles are projected outwards. Roles are what we project to the world. Here, I am a mother because this is what I do. But archetypical work is internal work. You don't have to wear a sexy sari to say I am in my lover archetype. Just a glance, just the way you keep your hands on your hands, just the way you smile is enough. And an internal knowing. It's an internal knowing. And archetypical work is not a projection. It is you knowing that, yes, I feel childlike. I feel innocent. You don't have to project innocence, right? So those are some differences between what is a role versus what is an archetype. If anyone has questions till now, and are roles more important than archetypes? Are archetypes more important than roles? No. If we have to live in society and we want to be valuable or worthy, not worthy, but valuable to others, we need to show the kind of value that I'm bringing to the world. In that, the roles are important. But are you worthy enough for yourself? Archetypical work is to build your worth. Roles are to build your value, the how valuable you are in society, right? So both are important, right? So with this thing, I got really carried away during that Women's Day, and then one group reached out to me saying that, would you like to have a talk on Women's Day? It was a group called Pecha Kuja. I think Sapna would know Pecha Kuja. So they said that, would you like to? And I was like, yes, I would like to have a 10-minute talk on what are archetypes and just get it out there. And after I got it out there, people wanted to learn more about it. And that's when I started teaching more about archetypes and entrepreneurs, mothers, so much. And you'll see how we can use archetypical work in absolutely every aspect of your life. So having said that, let's start with the first archetype. Okay, so first thing, as I said, don't have to be scared of this work. You're already doing it in a way in your life. Today's class is going to bring more focus, make you more aware, drive that energy towards you making your archetypes more aware. So each one of us has all the archetypes. You can write that in like capitals in your book, and let that be one of the eye openers for today, that each one of us has all the archetypes, all of them. Some of them may not be awake, some of them may be subdued for you, and you can awaken them. Chaitali asked, do women switch from one to the other in terms of archetypes? Are they fluid? Yes. So that is exactly what we are going to be talking about and learning about today. 1 second. Yeah? Okay. Let him be, let him be. So that's a very important question, and that is exactly what we're going to be working on. How to, when to switch, how to activate an archetype in the time of need, how to get it to help you, how can you ask for the wisdom of a certain archetype when you're stuck in a particular situation. So it's good to be able to switch, and because all the archetypes are inside you, all of them, all the time, all the time, right? So let that be an eye opener for everyone. So let's begin with the first archetype. The first archetype is the maiden archetype. I'm just going to pin myself. It's easier for me to focus, concentrate. So with the maiden archetype, maiden is a childlike innocence. So childlike, innocent, and someone who is in awe of the world, in awe. Wow. Oh my God, it's raining. Wow, see a rainbow. Oh my God, you've done something great. So they are that little bit of a fangirling, wow, in awe of the universe, the world, everything, right? And excited. She has that excitement about, when she gets a gift, she's excited. When she learns something new, she's excited, right? So that is your maiden archetype. So every archetype, I'm going to give you a few traits. I'm also going to give you what is the immature archetype, meaning it's not a true trait. It is when you're trying very hard to get it on board, right? So you're trying very hard. And the reason why you're trying hard is you are insecure somewhere, right? So the immature version of that archetype and the shadow side of that archetype also. So shadow sides are generally when you've taken it too far, when you've totally, oh, like the dark sides of every archetype, right? The every trait is going to have a little bit of a dark side, right? So let's take the maiden archetype. What is her shadow side? What could be her dark side? Someone who is innocent, in awe, has that little fangirl thing. Her shadow side would be she's needy, clingy. She gets insecure of herself, insecure of people in her life, right? She clings to them. She believes to a fault. You tell her anything and she believes, even without any question, even when it's staring in her face, she just is unable to use logic or discernment, right? So as we know, children don't have that discernment. Children don't have that level of understanding how much is good, how much is bad. So those are some of the shadow sides of the maiden. What is the immature maiden? The immature maiden is childish and naive. Naive and childish is the immature maiden. So many a time when I tell some of my clients that, it's time to, when you want that, when you want your man to provide for you, when you want your man to, um, uh, open doors for you, get you gifts, be the sugar. That is the time to get in that little bit of a maiden archetype in you. Instead of going childlike, innocent, they get childish. So that difference, that subtle difference of being childish, ah, ऐसा कैसे हो रहा है? That childishness is not a mature maiden archetype. It's not you in a blooming archetype, right? So that is the subtleness. Now, just for us to activate each of the archetypes, I'm going to give you a journal prompt. And for a minute, I want you to write on that, and then we will discuss whatever you write, right? So, for the maiden archetype, the first prompt for all of you is, how can I have childlike excitement? I'll type it in the chat box as well. So, write on, how can I have childlike excitement? What were some of the things I loved as a child and got excited about, which I can do now? So, how can I have childlike excitement? So, what things make you feel childlike excitement? So, I'm going to just write, what are 5 things that bring up childlike excitement? All right. Okay, I have too many typos in that thing. So that is basically 5 things that bring up childlike excitement. I don't know what the EW was. So yeah, I'm gonna give. Can we have some music, please? So I'm gonna give you girls a strict 1 minute. I'm very particular about not overshooting time so that we can cover everything. So I'm gonna give you exactly a minute. It's great music. Okay. Yeah, you're done. Can we pause the music? So Diana's put dancing, laughing uncontrollably, writing a nice scene, playing in the sea, just being with my female friends. Keep sharing with me, girls. I think we can have a few on audio as well. If anyone raises their hand, I can bring them up as well, or you can just start to, uh, you know, type in the chat box as well. So we'll again wait for 30 seconds for people to just share. And if you like something from someone else's list, write it in yours, right? Because that's another opportunity for you to be more childlike and be excited in life and tap into that wonder, tap into that joy, tap into that maiden avatar. So we've got Chi Aurora saying, I used to love being on the wet grass on summer evenings, enjoyed being with my cousins, dancing, enjoyed looking at myself in the mirror, sitting in front of a cooler. I love that, feeling the fresh drops on my face. So beautiful. You see, this dancing is coming up again, spending time in nature, being, Chetali says, being outdoors in nature, hanging out with my girlfriends, rain. So, hanging out with girlfriends is another repeating theme we are seeing. Hobbies, beautiful movie, a dog, music cassette, Samvedha says. Rooney says, learning how to cook as a child, beautiful. Playing with girlfriends, painting, dancing, singing. Timsi says, playing in mud, laughing like crazy, spontaneously crying like Abba and Kati, and walking barefoot, wearing whatever. So, I mean, that's beautiful. I love that we have been able to tap into exactly what we were going for. And with the monsoons here, there's just such a lovely way of getting together with your girlfriends, dancing in the rain, playing some amazing Bollywood music. Neha says mountain views, nice breeze on the face, again, sunsets and sunrises, mimicking elders. Yeah, that's a fun thing. I think that would be fun, mimicking teachers, how we used to do. That just brings back, it could be mimicking actors and things like that. So, yeah, that could, spark that fun element in our lives. Okay, so that was a great share. Thank you, girls. And hopefully we'll have these lists as well inside the replays for us to come into. Now let's move on to the next archetype. The next archetype is the lover archetype. Now, one of the other things that I teach, but we are not going to go into that uh, in today's class because it is a vast scope. So, that is linking each of the archetypes with our chakras. I know a lot of you must already be knowing our chakras. So, I'm just going to mention for the maiden archetype, the chakra is the root chakra. Now, for the lover archetype, the chakra is your sacral chakra. So, what are the traits of the lover archetype? The lover archetype leads with pleasure. She is sensual, she is rooted in her body. So, she has access to the emotions of her body, she has access to the physical sensations of her body. She loves life, right? Someone who loves life and loves things. Someone who uses the word love a lot. You see those women who are like, oh, I love you. Oh, I love butter chicken. I loved that movie. I loved that song. Oh, I love what you're wearing. So you see that just automatically that sensuality, that lover archetype gets turned on, right? So someone who leads with pleasure in her life, what gives her pleasure, what kind of things, what kind of, especially physical sensations, so very much in touch with her emotions and her physical sensations of her body. Now, what is the shadow side of the lover archetype is someone who leads with pleasure. It's very easy for them to have the dark side of greed, to have the dark side of addictions, that they are so addicted to the pleasure of food that they overeat. They have certain addictions towards alcohol, maybe towards sex, maybe addicted to people, even addicted to certain sensations in their body, also addicted to feeling a certain way as well, right? Now, what is the immature way of being a lover? Now, see, why would we want the lover archetype? Again, when I'm working with my clients, I'll say that, bring on the lover archetype when you want magnetism, when you want that polarity in your relationships, when you want to ooze, like, just ooze sensuality and magnetism, even when you're at a party, right? When you're in a gathering, you want to just be more magnetic, be more sensual. You want to lean into your lover archetype, right? Whether it's with your hands, whether it's, you might be seeing that with each archetype, the way I move my hands, the way my body language, the way I speak tends to change. And that is you embodying that archetype, right? Let me show you a difference between the maiden. The maiden is aware, she's off, in awe. You see me bending forward, using my hands, my face is animated, while the lover archetype has a little bit of a lean back and her shoulders are relaxed, and there's more of a, like, her chin is low, like she has her chin low but her head tilted, and just the way she uses her, to lead with her collarbones. I mean, not lead with your breasts. So that is the difference between what is an immature. Now we go into what's the immature lover archetype. She would be a tease. So when do we have these immature archetypes? Is when you're not fully confident and you are overdoing it, right? So the same way we said childlike to childish. So here the lover archetype, you want to turn on, be turned on as well, but it becomes a tease, right? You become the tease, or you overtly use your body. You overtly use your body to, now it's not leading with your collarbone or your clavicle, you're leading with your breasts. You're like in everyone's face, me, my body, really forcing it, right? Forcing your sexuality in your face, and using your body to project the lover archetype, rather than using the subtler cues, the subtle cues of your voice, of your mannerisms, of your emotions, of the other things. Instead, you're using your body, right? So though that is the immature lover. Now, is it possible that in trying to be the lover archetype, there will be moments that you step into the immature because you're still learning how to transit from one to the other? Of course. That's why we said there is no a shame in being a newcomer in this world, right? A newcomer to this work. And we've seen this in movies, have we not? Like when a tomboyish character is first time wants to be more girlish, she's going to make those mistakes. Have we not seen it in that Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, when Kajol, like, she just comes with this, very garish makeup. She's like, oh, boys would like, girls to be more feminine and girls to be more girly. And she comes with this crazy makeup and she's like, Raj, and, like trying to be Rahul and trying to be very, like, forcing it. And we've seen that so many times when we were growing up in that immature lover. We've made these mistakes as well. We've worn a low cut dress, we've worn a mini skirt when we were not comfortable in it, when we did not completely embody it, but we used it to try to get there, right? So we had that fake it till you make it. But on the other hand, I also want to say that there might be some things that you can use as as cues for you to start to embody a particular archetype. For example, you might use the a red lipstick as a cue to cue yourself to be a lover archetype. So when you want to turn that on, you might wear a red shoe, you might paint your nails a particular color, and you're like, red nails make me feel more lover. Having a red lip makes me feel more lover. You can cue in certain things like putting a clip makes you feel more maiden. Putting blush makes you feel more maiden. So you can have certain cues, certain things that help you drop into or embody a particular archetype. So there will be those learning things. And yes, there will be, like, you've gone too far into the lover archetype and you've got addicted, and there will be shadow sides. So, but it is nice to be aware. It's nice to know, oh yes, I was a bit of an immature lover at that time. And it's not out of shame, it's more out of a validation and a more of an acceptance that, hey, I was there, I've been there, we've all been there, have we not? We've all been there, we've tried too hard, right? We've always tried too hard. And try too hard has the word tried in it. So always remember that. I always tell my clients, it's you would rather try too hard rather than not try at all. There's You won't have any regrets if you have not, like, you will have regrets if you didn't try at all. But that embarrassment that, oh my God, I tried too hard, I was this immature childish person, or I was this immature too bold person, it's okay, you tried. There's the word tried in tried too hard, right? So now the question, the journaling question for us inside the lover archetype is, what turns me on? What turns me on? Just repeat that. So let's have 5 things that turn me on. 5 things that turn me on. And can we have some music to go with the at time went by fast. So let's have some sharing skills. You can put it in the chat and we have the music first. So Rooney says confidence, gentle touch, eye gazing, naughty smiles, beautiful sense, ambition, deep conversations, unexpected loving touch, music sent. Okay, so I am seeing these ambition in yourself or ambition in the other person, because if it is the other person, when we are working with archetypical work, it is what turns me on in myself, with myself, not anyone else. So it is not like, oh, if I don't see the ambition over there, dude, I'm not turned on. So it is, yes, I like some of these. Vulnerability, honest conversations, nature. So having a bath, if you say nature, water, poetry, reading poetry to yourself, words and gifting yourself, giving gifts to yourself, deep breathing, Shaitali says. So breathing deeply, turning yourself on, touching yourself, flirtatious talks. Yes, you talking flirtatiously turns you on, right? Turns you on. You looking into other people's eyes turns you on. So gentle touch on my back, or so that caress could be you caressing as you get your hair in the front. That is a gentle touch on my neck. Understood? So you are turning yourself on. Wearing a sexy dress turns you on, right? So caring nature, yes. So a sense of humor, you having a sense of humor turns you on, right? So that is where the play is. It is not like, dude, that guy did not. It's all radical responsibility. It is our responsibility to turn ourselves on, right? So there's this program which I'm teaching right now called This Orgasmic Life, inside which we teach orgasms. Whose responsibility is it to have the orgasms? It's your responsibility. If you are not getting there, it is not like, oh, he didn't spend so much time, he doesn't know anything. Where could you not be knowing yourself? So this is a beautiful opportunity, girls, for us to see what turns me on. How can I get myself turned on in my life? Yes, water, having a hot soak, having a bubble bath, wearing a satin or a silk night dress, going pantyless, right? Wearing a very sexy bra, right? Wearing a sexy bra turns you on. Listening to Bollywood music turns you on. Raspy voices, or so you're getting it. So it is about what turns me on. So when you enter the party, when you step into the car, when you open the door to your date, you are already turned on. You are not like, ab dekhte hain, बंदे ने deep conversation करना है कि नहीं? Where is that deep conversation? Why is he not touching me? This thing. I am so not turned on. Dude, it's your job to be in the lover archetype. It's you who turns on the lover archetype, and then that turns on other bulbs, right? You light the lamp. You are not like, diya hi nahi hai, there is no kerosene in the house. Go get the oil and then light that match, right? So that's very important. That's the archetypical work. You cannot be, I saw that it came so easily for you, the maiden. No one in the maiden said, until someone comes and gives me like a most amazing thing that I'm going to be childlike. No, you paint, you draw, you get there. So getting there is your responsibility, right? So that was great. Like to be able to have that discernment, have that awareness. I was looking for it in the other person. I need to look for it within. How can I turn myself on? Could be putting on some music, the say a similar thing. Now, dancing, there are so many different types of dancing. There are so many types of sensual dancing, which can turn us on our own. We don't need no partner. We don't need external stimulation, right? So deep breathing, whatever, like think about it. There are so many examples that I already gave you. Like if you love touch yourself. If you love gifts, gift yourself. If you love diamonds, give yourself diamonds, wear the diamonds. If you love a high heel, wear the high heels. If you are into kink, wear a chain, wear a choke, get into use a vibrator, right? There are so many things, handcuffs, so many things, right? Where you can use your own kinks for your own pleasure, right? So now moving on to the next archetype, which is the mother archetype. Now the mother archetype's trait is nurturing, caring for, protecting, right? Protection. What are the shadow sides of a mother archetype? Nagging. Where does that nagging come from? The nagging comes from us wanting to help someone, right? It comes from us trying to nurture, trying to give, but it's a shadow side. Helicopter parenting, right? Helicopter parenting, nagging, over giving, over guiding people, giving unsolicited advice. Advice comes from a place of nurturing, right? Like me giving you advice here is because you have come here seeking advice or seeking wisdom. But if I was to give this, like if you were at a party and I walk up to, let's say, Timsi, and I say, girl, I think you are in your immature lover with that loca dress. You know what? You should not be doing this. This is in your, that is stepping, that is me in my shadow, right? This is me in my shadow mother. Of course, it comes from a place of giving, it comes from a place of nurturing, but it was not wanted. They did not ask for it. So again, I see a lot of mothers who will say, Are maine itna diya, I do so much for my kids. That comes from a place of shadow, that comes from a place of helicoptering, that comes from a place of nagging, that comes from a place of overgiving. It gives you pleasure. It's not for the other person. Your overgiving is giving you pleasure, not like, oh wow, maine kiya. Nahi, it's not coming from a place of service. Now, what is the immature trait of the mother? It is people pleasing. Now, I know people pleasing is something that a lot of women use, the word people pleasing. And I wanted to make this differentiation between what is people pleasing. Again, this might be an eye opener thing for many women. So you could write that out. What is the difference between people pleasing versus over giving? A lot of people say, oh, I was people pleasing, like especially when I have a lot of clients and they've gone through a divorce or they've gone through a difficult separation or they've gone through some kind of breakup. They will always say that, one of my things is people pleasing. that I am a people pleaser. So, and then I might point out to them after our coaching that it was not people pleasing, it was overgiving. Or the other way around, they will say that I gave so much in the relationship, when in reality, it was not overgiving, it was people pleasing. So, what is the difference? In people pleasing, you fear that they will not love you if you don't give. So, you actually don't want to give, you actually want to say no. You actually don't want to wake up at 6 o'clock and make tea for them. You actually don't want to pack the lunch for them. You actually don't want to do something, but you fear that they will stop loving you or they will stop caring for you, and so you give. That is people pleasing. When you come from a place of immaturity, right? If you see, that same trend is there in all of the immature traits. She is using her body more overtly because she thinks if she doesn't, she will not be getting the love from the other side. So she uses her body as an immature way of stepping into her lover archetype. So in people pleasing, she's immaturely using that as a way of nurturing. It's not coming from a place of nurturing, it's coming from a place of insecurity, people pleasing. While over giving, she loves giving. She loves nagging. She loves giving. So she is the one, no one asked her to get up at 6 a.m., but she's the one who wakes up at 6 a.m. She's the one who makes these elaborate breakfasts. And then she's the one who gets upset when people are like, Are, are, I don't have time to drink tea. I have a meeting at 8. I just got up, I'm going. And she's like, मैंने इतना खाना बनाया इन लोगों के लिए, and they didn't even have it. And then when they come and say it was my people pleasing, it was overgiving. You love to overgive. Why? Because you want someone on the other side to thank you, to say thank you so much that you did this, right? It came from a place of pleasure for you. You wanted to overgive. Maybe it came from a place of you never gave to yourself and this was a way of giving to you. There are so many layers of that. Let's not go into that. But this is just an awareness of how we can use archetypical work, whether we are coaching people, whether we are looking into our own life and our own patterns, whether we are working with inner child wounds or mother wounds, father wounds, because I know a lot of you are into therapy or are therapists. So this is the kind of work that you can also start to look into, to help you to analyze, is it an immature, is it a shadow, is it a trait, and so on and so forth. So now let's go into a little bit of journaling to activate your mother archetypes. What do I want to protect? And another one is, what breaks my heart? So what breaks my heart and what do I want to protect? It could be abstracts, or who do I want to protect could also be something. So what is it that you want to, because mother trait is a nurturing trait. So what do you want to protect? It could be some things like, I want to protect my family, I want to protect my wealth, I want to protect my company, I want to protect my traditions, I want to protect my culture. It could be something like that. Or I want to protect my I want to protect the way people see me. It could be something abstract as well, or it could be like, I want to protect my son, I want to protect, my family. So something like that. So what brings up the mother in you? What brings up that protective thing in you? I want to protect my youth. I want to protect my beauty. There are so many things that might be coming up. Music and thought provoking. Okay, that's time. Have some sharing. What do I want to protect? So let's have some sharings. I want to protect my relationships, yes. And I want to protect my youth, yes. So it's so beautiful when you start to think of yourself that I want to protect my youth, I want to protect my body, or it breaks my heart when I see, I want to protect peace, yes. I want to protect family health, I want to protect my money, I want to protect time. um, yes, Cherali says that this is my default mode, that I want to protect my well-being of my loved ones, my own peace, my authenticity, my money, my time. This is a beautiful way to start looking at yourself, that I want to protect. And bringing, like, mother archetype is such a strong, powerful, and it's in ourselves, this maternal instinct, that when we bring this energy into our work, into our money mindset, when we work with our money, with that thing that I'm going to, nurture it, I'm going to make it grow, I'm going to protect it, it's such a different way of working with money than when the masculine or the men work with money, right? It's plundering, it's how can I grab more, but here it's, and it's going to make you feel so much at peace when you're growing your money. I want to protect my dogs, my peace of mind, my womanhood, my sisterhood and the sisterhood at large. I want to protect my parents, yes. My sister, my 5-year-old self, yes. I want to protect my inner child. I mean, so many of us are coming from that place of protecting and reparenting our inner child. And that is a wealth of strength. There is no bigger strength than motherhood. And Harry Potter taught us that in spades. Like, it just told us, like, you can beat Voldemort with a mother's love, right? So we need to tap into that. What do I want to protect? I want to come at this work from that mother energy, from that protective, beautiful energy. And till now, maybe again, this could be an eye opener, all caps moment for you, that till now you thought, oh, I'm not a mother, I don't have a kid. So where the hell am I a nurturer? I'm not a nurturer. We all are. It's just inbuilt for women to, when we protect with everything that we have. We have people who want to protect their marriages the same way. They may not want to protect their husbands, but they want to protect the family unit in the same way. Or they want to protect their company, or they want to protect their uh, you know their their body, their youth, their livelihood, like that. I was just writing in all caps to approach my work with the mother and exactly. So all caps eye opening is like, whenever I have these eye-opening moments in these workshops or things, I just write everything in all caps so that it just stands out from the page. And literally, I hope you've got lots of all cap moments till now in the class. And we have at least another, I don't know, an hour to go, maybe 45 minutes at least. We're just on our third archetype. So yeah, I hope it's being super valuable to you. So now we go into the warrior archetype. Now, the warrior archetype, the trait is she's up for a challenge, loves a good challenge. You say, okay, just it just lights her up. It's like a warrior, right? Like, someone says, let's go on war, and she's like, yes, let's just get all the swords, let's get all the ammunition, let's go at it, right? So she's up for a challenge. She just, so when you're going in for these 30-day challenges, 75 hard marathon training, or just I'm going to finish this book, I'm going to put up a reel every single day, or I'm going to do something like that. So she loves discipline, she loves a good daily task. Like, give her clear cut rules and regulations, and she loves a good to do list. She looks at it and she's like, yeah, I just love this, right? So the trait of the warrior is disciplined, has that go-getter energy, right? Go-getter energy. What is the shadow of the warrior? Is that then everything is a war. Everything is a war, which is again a lot of us. Cortisol spikes. Everything is a stress situation, right? Also, she's always in that fighting energy. Everything is a fight. Everything is it's not clean. The house is not clean. The thing is like, she's always in that, stressed energy. Like everything is a war for her. Everything is like battleground, right? And ruthless. The like easy, quick to temper, quick to anger, quick to rise to the situation, right? Quick to like, she's quick for action. That's a trait for her, that she's quick to take action, but then she's also quick to get angry. She's also not happy when everyone else is not moving at the same pace, right? So that's the same in a war. Like when I say go, we go. And then if there are people who are lagging behind, you are just, like a battalion commander. They are not going to take indiscipline. They will not take this thing. So then you start treating your house like a regiment, a squadron. You're like the gun master. You're like, ye nahi hua, wo nahi hua, ye aa jana chahiye tha, this should have happened. So a lot of level of high stress. Of course, they are very well, it works really well at work, but may not work very well at in certain positions. Now, what is the immature aspect of the warrior? When you are not embodying the warrior, but you're forcing the warrior, you get too rigid. You get too rigid with your rules and regulations. You're like over disciplined. Like you are like, it says 5 a.m., meaning it has to be 5 a.m. because that is what it requires. And it's like all guns blazing all the time. So there is this very hyper energy, right? Hyper energy is you in your warrior archetype. And if you're in that hyper energy all the time, it's going to not be so good for your health, not be so good for your projects also that you're working on, right? So that is your immature part of the warrior. So for the journaling for the warrior, we have the question, okay, the warrior is again, when sometimes like inside my program Devi, we have this thing called, when we are working with archetypes of Kali would be a warrior archetype. Durga would be a warrior archetype, right? Um, uh, so when we are working with this kind of energy inside my programs, this is what I say, sacred rage, right? So we're not going to go into sacred rage, but the journaling prompt for all of you, that's why I just gave a little bit of a clue into that work. Why? Because it can be quite a different thing for everyone to have this journaling question. The question is, what are the chakras associated, right? Good question, Rooney. The chakra for mother is your heart. Again, over opening heart, people pleasing, all of that is your heart chakra. Warrior is your solar plexus, right? So warrior is your solar plexus. And the journaling prompt for us here is, what makes my blood boil? What do I hate about my life? So what do I hate about my life? And then you're like going with the guns blazing. Like, I hate my overweightness. And then you're going like a warrior, challenging it, like, I'm going to lose the weight. I hate the thing that I cannot afford to go on these vacations. I hate poverty in my life, or I hate the fact that I am. So when you can bring up like hate, you are using it as a superpower. What makes my blood boil? You're using anger as a superpower. You're using that anger as the fuel and fire for your solar plexus. Again, solar plexus is your fire element. So you're firing it up with your hate. Hate towards, what do you hate about your life? I hate that this is not working out. I hate that I don't have this kind of car. I hate that I don't have this kind of impact in my work. I hate that I don't have this kind of the money that I deserve in my work. And then you're going to go at your projects, at your, like, you're going to get the mentor, you're going to get the coach, but you need to, this, if you work with chakras, you know that the solar plexus is the courage which helps to convert your desires into decisions. Everyone has desires. Everyone is like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be. But that fire energy of your solar plexus is what's required to turn your desires into decisions. I am going to get there. I'm going to get that. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to put up a video every single day. I'm going to reach out to people, right? So hate is a strong word. Yes, yes, you need a strong word. You're going on war. This is the warrior archetype. This is not like, this is not, this is not like, we'll go into the other archetypes. So I know what you mean. Like, yeah. So you can stick to that. What makes your blood boil? And the other one is, what do I hate about my life? Right? So what makes my blood boil? Again, it may not, then what makes my blood boil may not be just in your life. It makes my blood boil when I see women not reaching their full potential. It makes my blood boil when women say that, oh, the world is not, like, in that victim mindset, the world is not doing things for me. You are Shakti, right? So that makes my blood boil, right? So that gets me in the warrior thing to make programs, right? So that gets me up in the morning, right? Oh yeah, the Aries sun must love that. Oh wow, yeah, absolutely. So as a projector, how do you make it happen? Oh, that's a whole different conversation. That's like, that's going to take us into a different realm. But yeah, we can talk about that at some point. So let's play some music. Let's talk. Let's channel our blood boiling. Channel your anger. Channel that rising. So I don't know if we'll make the music go. I don't know how many of you felt it. Like, having just talked about the warrior energy, I have so much of rising cortisol inside me. I had to, like, nervous system regulate myself. Like my spine is tingling, and I'm like, let's just go. Like my hands are like, right? So that I need to work off. So if others are having that, just shake off that extra energy which comes in with the warrior, right? So there is this huge cortisol spike, and we need that when we want things done. But yeah, so I can just feel it rising inside me, and I felt like, why am I just automatically feeling very right now? So yeah, so that is the power of the warrior energy. It's like when people say, when I say go, we go, like the movie 300. Like, it's like a charge. It's like, we're gonna do it. Let's do this. Let's do it now. So that is the thing when everyone has a desire, but then that decision, that quantum leap. In quantum leap, you can be running, but then you have to leap. At some point, you have to, like, leave the floor, leave the ground, and let the air take you. So that leap does require some amount of fuel, and that is your warrior energy. And then you're like, yes, I am going to do this. Let's do this, Kuheli. Let's do this, right? So that's the thing. So the things were emotional manipulation, yes, lies, inauthenticity of yourself also. You're like just done with being inauthentic in your life, right? Abuse towards women, emotional abuse, yes. Our own emotional abuse of ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves, the way we speak about ourselves, the way we disrespect our own resolve. We said we'll do something and we emotionally abuse ourselves all the time, right? What makes my blood boil is my inaction towards bettering my physical health. Absolutely. Like your own procrastination, having the discipline, yeah, not being consistent towards my goal, women being stuck in their situations, men acting like victims of the system that benefits them. Absolutely, absolutely. Like this would make your blood boil, and it will boil until you take action. It will simmer until you take action. The minute you take action, you start to lift the whistle of that steam building inside you. So action driven. Solar plexus is all about action, decisions. Seeing children being bullied, absolutely. I mean, cyberbullying, just so much about today's teenagehood, just so much of the stress that they have to be under. My God, seriously. So there's so much for our blood to boil. And the way forward is taking up as a challenge. Like, I'm up for this challenge. Let's just go to war with it. Yes, absolutely. It's about lifting the lid off. It's like you did something, whatever you did. Like it doesn't go as we wish. Like, say if you are not feeling great about how you look, or you're like, as who was it? Someone said that, like Rooney said that inaction towards bettering my physical health. If today after this class, even if she goes for a walk, it's going to release that pressure. It's going to give vent to that anger, give vent to that boiling, and it gives her direction, right? And then it gives you something else, and then you take it from there, right? So now we move on to the next archetype, and that is the archetype of queen. Again, a beautiful archetype to work with. The queen, the traits of the queen are confidence, charisma, community building, right? A queen leads. So she has that leader quality. And who does she lead? She first leads herself. One of the first lines of leader is, I go first. I go first. And I go often. And I go where others have not gone. Right? Those are the lines of the leader. That I go first. I go often. I go where others have not. So you be the first. You step outside your comfort zone. You are the one who is inspiring through your work, through your action. So that leadership quality, that queendom, that confidence, right, is the traits of a queen. What is her shadow side? The shadow, just like a queen, she's territorial, right? She builds community, but she's territorial as well. So they can be like, this is mine, this is not yours. And that cattiness, that bitchiness, that cat fighting of, this is mine, this is yours, this is, territorial. Jealousy as well, right? So jealousy comes into the picture with the queen thing. Another shadow side is starting to think of others as your subjects, and then it becomes a diva, right? You're no more a queen, you are this diva. You're like, oh, I am too good for others. People should be serving me. So a queen's partner should be a king, but she stops treating him like a king and she starts treating him like a subject. Like, you be doing my bidding. You do all the, treat me like a queen. Treat me like a queen, you as a subject. I'll treat you as a subject rather than you treat me like a queen, I'll treat you like a king, right? Like you're my partner. No, it's like, treat me like a queen. I deserve to be a queen. You be my subject. So she's the diva, and He's the boy carrying the jacket and the her long flowing gown, and carrying the umbrella over her head, right? So that becomes a shadow which a lot of us are going through. Why not? There'll be some days that you go from a queen to a diva, and it's just that awareness. You need maybe sometimes a third party person to show you that, and it cannot be this third party person who tells you you're not a queen, you're a diva, cannot be your mother, cannot be your sister, cannot be your best friend saying, oh, you know you treat your husband like a subject and not like a king. Somehow we just don't want that to be coming from our mothers, definitely not from our mother-in-laws, and not even from our friends, right? That is where we need a impartial person who is not getting anything out of it. That's why we have coaches, right? Someone who is a little removed from that, who can give you, do I mean arrogance? It could be arrogance, but it's not an arrogance towards something that you have done, and it's not even an arrogance that you say to others, maine ye kiya wo kiya. It's more of a thinking that you are better than others. It's more of a thinking that, and it may be very subtle also. It may be just a subtle thing of thinking that your entire family needs to support you. So yes, superiority complex, it's not like you feel superiority complex towards your husband, that I'm more superior to my husband than I am, but it's just that I'm a queen, but you're not a king. I'm a queen, treat me like a queen. I hear this all the time, like, I'm a queen, he should treat me like a queen. And don't you want a king on the other hand, or do you want a subject? If you want a subject, there are so many subjects. Why do you want one subject? You might as well have 10 subjects. Wouldn't that be more like a queen, to have like at least 10 men being your subjects? Then that's okay. But if you want a king, then there's going to be only one king, and he'll know that he's the king only when you treat him like a king. So there's a lot of thing, and it's not so much like I'm superior to him, but it's more like I deserve better, or something in that thing. Yeah, could be it could be superiority complex, it could be arrogance. It comes across as arrogance when someone else is looking at you. It does come across as arrogance to them, right? To them it feels like, yeah, you are this diva. They're not thinking, wow, what a queen. They are not. They're thinking, oh, damn, she's such a diva, right? Which chakra is the queen? The queen is the throat chakra, right? So she's speaking. She has a lot of confidence, charisma, community building. That comes with a lot of working with your throat, working with your authenticity, right? So working with your authenticity. So that's a lot of the queen. And the immature bit of the queen is overconfident. She's actually not confident. She needs to project it, and she's insecure, and that insecurity comes across as overconfidence. She's trying too hard, right? Too talkative. Again, throat chakra, because it's the throat chakra and she's trying to activate it. She's talking too much, right? So over talkative, selling hard, right? So she's selling hard. She's like, buy me, choose me, pick me, I'm your queen, I'm your queen, right? So she's trying too hard, right? So those are the immature thing of a queen. And I know, like, by now I can see some of you are like, I know that girl, I know who that person is, I know who is that, immature queen in my life. And maybe in coming days you'll see in movie characters, you'll be like, yeah, that one, definitely that one. And the real work, girls, is to see it in yourself and say, oh shit, oh damn, yeah, I was selling it too hard. I was not i was not confident, and so I tried to be overconfident. And yeah, I mean, that's the deeper work, but it's fun now to be able to say, yes, so and so, so and so, and it's great. So let's activate the queen chakra inside us with the journal prompt: what are my best traits, gifts, and strengths? So for the queen archetype, you want to feel confident. How does confidence feel in your body? How does being that, and for that, what are my best traits? What are my best gifts? What are my strengths? And when you start with that, when you activate that, you now don't need to be overconfident because you are confident. Rooney says, it's my mom, the immature queen for sure. And I get it from her in so many areas of my life. Absolutely. And the first thing is to acknowledge it. Acknowledge, yeah, I can be an immature queen sometimes. That's it. And in that fun way, just accept it for yourself. You know what? I can be an immature queen sometimes. And that opens up you to say, yeah, sometimes I just am over talkative and overconfident because I'm not confident. And I feel like if I don't hard sell myself, people may not buy me. So, and the thing of it is sufficiency. The opposite of, let's just start the timer, otherwise we'll keep going. So sufficiency, and what builds sufficiency is telling yourself, what are my good bits? What are my good traits? What are my great strengths? That will help you feel sufficient. It's a water. Okay, I'm back. Yes. So yeah, so I as you might have realized, that my throat was just so this thing parched. As I was talking about the queen, that I had to get myself some warm water. The warm water calms and soothes and supports the throat chakra. So having worked with these, it just like my body can feel that, and I hope a bit of it is coming through it for you also. Like maybe it's throat clearing, but as you work with your archetypes, they start to live within you, right? Just like your chakras, these are subtle bodies that just live within you. So is being fast a gift to others? What is fast? um I'm a natural space holder. We're going to talk about that. I create safe space for myself and others. I'm compassionate. I always see the details. I see the bigger picture. I'm joyful. I'm supportive. I love that, Diana. I mean, that's such a beautiful celebration of yourself. And such a good understanding of yourself. Chetali says that my traits are being I'm assertive without sounding dominating, always looking out for my inner circle sisterhood, safe place for my own soul. Rooney says that empathy, caring, full of ideas, creative energy, innovative, daring, expressive, beautiful. Joanna says, take fast actions, seeing several solutions. Yeah, that's the warrior archetype. The warrior is the commander, is someone who is, who has those, several solutions, is ready. Okay, if we take this path, this is going to happen. If we take this path, this is going to happen. Let's go here, let's go there, let's do this. That is exactly. So that is the warrior archetype. And that's a great, that is a good, that's a very good trait to have, that I take decisions fast. I am a quick thinker. I have I'm able to have a bigger picture. Several solutions is like having a bigger picture. Neha says that she's a good listener, logical decision making, mental clarity. Dimsi says kind, empathy, courageous, compassionate, loving. Beautiful. Power dressing, also Neha said, he said. So, yes, these are all things that make you feel like a queen, make you feel worthy of being in your queenness. You do not need subjects to be a queen. We have seen so many movies, have we not? I don't know how many of you see Korean or Chinese dramas especially. I mean, let's just have a show of hands. Does anyone watch Chinese dramas? Because this might be quite the tangent, quite the thing which you may not have. Um, it's quite a small world. But in Chinese dramas, the basic story is always a king who is in exile and is now living as a common man, or a queen or a princess who, because of something, is now living as a common person. But yet, you will see their regality, regalness, their royalty, the way they treat others, the way they treat themselves, coming across as queen, as king. The way their life then goes forward is not because they were born, they may have been born into it, but they have it. They don't have subjects. They're not sitting on the throne, but they still embody the queen. So that is something that you can learn from Chinese dramas. I can give you at least 20 good suggestions of where to start. So moving on to our next archetype, a beautiful archetype called High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess, the Queen, and the Warrior are three regal or the royal archetypes, which I like to call. So, the High Priestess, the trait is listening, communication, connection up and below. What do I mean by that? Connecting with your intuition, connecting with a higher source, connecting with soul, connecting with your inner soul, connecting with God, connecting with universe. That is all connecting up, and connecting below, connecting with others, empathy for others, connecting with other human beings, connecting with yourself, connecting with your human beings, right? So spiritual as well as human, that tie between the two. And of course, the chakra is your third eye, right? That is the one which links you, which is the bridge between the spiritual and the human, the 5D and the 3D world, right? So that is your connection up and below. This is also service. This is also is in service of. Just imagine a priest, right? A priestess or a priest. So if that person is in the temple, is also serving the god inside, and is also serving all the people, pilgrimers, and people who are coming to the temple, right? So, and is also building the temple. So if you see priests, they are in service. They're always in service to people, and even their gatherings are called services, right? So service of people, service to God. They are serving, they are doing bhog, हर time bhog चढ़ा रहे हैं, और bhog दे रहे हैं. And business acumen. Why? Because business is a spiritual game. I don't know how many of you follow Tony Robbins. So one of his big lines is, business is a spiritual game. And this is the spirituality of the high priestess, or the high priest if you're dealing with masculine archetypes. So the high priestess is working with business acumen. So business acumen is a trait for the high priestess, right? Because service, right? And service coming from that place, that service is spiritual. Service is a great thing, right? What is the shadow side? The shadow side can be very self-absorbed, controlling. Do we not know so many Don't we know so many, what should I say, priests who have been self-serving, who have been controlling, who have then become very ruthless, right? When they start to think that, oh, we are the god. And the same thing happens with businessmen as well. They start with service. They start, obviously, you cannot tell me that someone grew $1 million business by stealing. They don't steal. They serve people, they serve until there comes a time when they start to become ruthless, become self-absorbed, start to think that, oh, I'm only the god, like I'm serving god, but I'm only god man, right? So that is the thing. And what is the immature high priestess? Fake. Someone who's fake. Super easy to understand. Anyone who's uh, trying to be fake lease of service, or faking their connection, or faking their, oh, I really care for you, I really take care of people, I'm such a service oriented person, but they are actually not. That's all fake, right? So they are fake people. And that is the immature high priestess, right? They want to come across as someone who is, I am so much a spiritual person, I'm so much in service of my people, but she's fake, right? So let's do a journaling for activating our high priestess. Who are my people? And what service do I want to serve in my life? What is a mission or a higher calling? Like, so who are my people? Like, who do I want to serve? Who are my people that I want to serve? And what service do I want to serve in my life? What is the service? Yes, hypocrite, hypocrisy. Okay, that's time. Okay. So Timsi says people who need love, and service is love. True, so true. Couples, especially women who want to find their way back to their love for each other or deepen their connection, I support them with online sessions. So couples, and like, be of service to them. Truly service. So beautiful. Like, that comes from a place of service. Like, I want to serve. Who else? And just could be very, very simple. Um, my people are my family, you could say. You know, anyone who wants to heal are my people. I want to provide a space for them to escape the programming and conditioning that keeps them disconnected from themselves. I have been an empath all my life, struggled with boundaries. Yes, boundary work. Where was that? Deep empathy, ask me, and I see, oh, right. So let's talk about that, service versus empathy. Um, Unconditional love, people that want to live well and healthy, and healthy, right? let's start with one of the very, very key things of being a high priestess. Again, girls, I feel again that if you do not have the person who you want to serve, you might then struggle to be in your high priestess. Like people who want to live well and healthy. What if there are no people around you who want to live well and healthy? Would you not be in your high priestess? Would you not be in service of spread love in general? Yes. Be in service of, like, make life comfortable for my loved ones. Yes. So that is service. Share experiences of myself, like just in service of, right? So I want that service not to be so much about the people, more about the value that you serve, right? So uh what service do I want to serve in my life? I want to serve as a beacon of hope. I want to serve as a safe space. I want to serve as a, a another way. I want to serve with comfort. I want to serve myself. It all starts with ourselves. Then all service starts with self-service. All spiritual awakening starts with lighting the lamp within, right? You cannot awaken others if you do not feel awakened within, right? So that is the light that they need to light first. So it could be values that you serve, it could be a higher calling that you serve, and it does not matter if there are people out there, like physical people in front of you when you serve. So I serve love, or I serve, I, and yes, who are my people? You start to see your people in everyone that you meet. People who are hurting, people who are, uh, people who are uh, just people, uh, women, people. So who are my people? You start to think of everyone as your people, that as me connect. Now, very, very, so many people are like, I'm an empath, I don't have boundaries. Service is not about being the mat for others to walk over. It is the roof over people's head. It is not the mat over which people walk. Again, all caps, if you get it. Let's talk about the same thing. A priest, a priestess, they are in service, but they have certain, you have to remove the chappal to enter the temple. There is a boundary wall of that temple. The temple is not open all the time. The temple is a place where people come with reverence. They don't come with a feeling of um, mera hak hai ye. This is not my, they don't come willfully. Everyone comes to a priestess, everyone comes to a temple with reverence, wanting something. Imagine, like, whether you enter a church, whether you enter a temple, whether you enter any kind of holy space, whether you go to the pyramids, whether you go to a Taj Mahal, whether you go seeking just any person, you go with a sense of reverence and you come back with a sense of relief. You may not even get anything. You are sometimes not going with any expectations also. Just their presence is service enough. That is the high priestess avatar, the embodiment that I want all of you to have. It is not what you gave. Empath meaning I need to, when you're the priest is there and someone goes and say, a beggar goes, the empath in you will make you be the beggar, or give the clothes off your back to the beggar. That is what you think the priest does or the priestess does when a beggar comes? No. They hold them by the hand, they give them comfort and shelter, they may give them a meal, they give them nourishment, and then send them on their way. and the person goes with relief, and they they go with that relief. So there is that thing of openness. So one of the big things of the high priestess is that she nourishes herself first. She really nourishes herself first, and then listens. Listening is a service. Your presence is a service. Your embodiment, your calmness is a service. Your radiant love is a service. And then you're not serving one to one. This boundary crossing, this empathy happens because you are feeling the pain of one. You're like, oh, I am such an empath. This person's all pain, I feel deeply. But when you are the light, you are the lighthouse, you are walking light. So when like say when I have retreats or when I have coaching, when I'm group coaching, I will say that if I put my laser focus on one person, I'm literally taking away the light from the room and focusing on that person. That is a disservice to everyone else. I am like that diya. I am the light. And everyone gets the light. And everyone feels warm. And everyone feels lit. So my job is to raise the energy of everyone, raise the vibrations by raising my own vibrations, by being still, by being in my embodiness. When I pour all into one, I am taking away from others. I am doing a disservice. The same way priests, priestesses, if they have a beggar and they are like, ye lo, sara prasad tum hi le jao. Here, take all the prasad, this is yours. Then they fed one when they could have fed millions. That is the job. That is why high priestess is business acumen. Their job is to serve many, to serve as many. Jio, Ambani, Advani, Amazon is serving many. They are not saying, oh, you want Jeff Bezos is coming to your house with the parcel and saying, here, I feel so much empathy for you. You wanted this notebook, I will give you the notebook. This is not about, oh, this is not a one-to-one touch. This is not a high. No, each one of us feels extremely grateful when that Swiggy bhaiya comes, that Blinkit bhaiya comes. But if Jeff Bezos or the thing is giving, if Ambani is going door to door, giving connection, then they are not serving the many, the everyone. And that is a disservice. That would be a disservice. If Amazon said, you know what, India, dude, you guys just don't deserve my service. Americans, that is where the game is. That is people who I want to serve. I don't think it's worth. That would be a disservice to us. That would be a disservice to us, right? If Tony Robbins was going to say, no, I'm just going to do live shows, I'm not going to do online classes anymore, that would be a disservice to us. So that is a high priestess. If your empathy is a disservice to the others who can see your light, because you poured all your light into one place. So boundaries are beautiful. Boundaries is what builds the temple. If this whole house, or if this the whole land was the land, and then I don't know, give me a big temple. Okay, let's say Banaras, the whole of Banaras, right? Banaras was not Banaras, and Banaras was the same as Goa, where I'm teaching from. Banaras and Goa were just the same. Okay, Goa also has a lot of reverence, but like just say like Chandni Chowk and Banaras just had nothing. Like they were just one. They had no boundaries between each other. Banaras would not have its thing. The minute you step into Banaras, you feel different. The minute you step into Goa also, you feel different. Goa is not Bombay. Why? Boundaries. The minute you step into, you have landed in Goa, you're like, Goa. There is a shift. If Goa and Bombay did not have any boundaries and Gujarat and Maharashtra were all the same, then you would not step into Bombay and feel different. You would not step into Goa and feel different. You would not step into Kashi and feel different. That is the power of boundaries. You feel different. It elevates. Sure, you can say, "Ah, no." And it's not a hard boundary, it's not a wall. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are thresholds. Again, all caps, girls. The same in our lives also. Boundaries are not a wall you put in. No, never. No one can climb this. Boundaries are not walls, boundaries are thresholds. Again, an all caps uh, thing that you can write in your book. That is how you deal with empaths deal. Because again, as you can see, I am an empath as well. I used to always keep saying, oh my God, I'm a highly sensitive person. I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm an empath. But now I'm in my high priestessness. And now I see that shift. And that shift, I'm never going back there. If someone starts to mooch off me, I draw that threshold. And there might be a few more steps for them to get to me. That is the difference. It's not a wall, it's not a no, but there are more steps to get to me, because then my light is a little bit higher. That's where I can put the light a little bit more, and it feels different. If I were to talk the same way over a coffee, in a coffee, you meet me and I'm coaching you, you would not feel the same way when you are in class. When you enter class, the vibration is different. Kuheli, the coach, is like Banaras. You go to Banaras, and the minute you enter the class, you're like, wow, I know I'm going to be so mind blown today, right? But Kuheli over coffee is going to be like Goa. It's going to be fun. It's going to be chill. It's going to be relaxing. And it's going to be good times, right? And that's a different vibe, right? So that is where your boundaries come in. Over coffee, if people are like, you know what, why don't you coach me? Join. Like, let's have that's a different relationship. So that is boundaries. And that is what makes things special, right? If Banaras is the same as Kashi, or if New York is the same as, I don't know, every other place in the world, why would we want to go to New York? The minute you go, the minute you see, it's just different. The vibe is different. That is why boundaries make things special. They don't take away from anything, they just add. Okay, so it's addition. Empaths, always remember, your boundaries make not you special. A lot of people think, oh, she is trying to be special. No, it makes your relationship special with the other person. The relationship that my clients, there are a few of my expansion experience priestesses here, the relationship that we have inside our community, the knowledge, the depth in knowing, and the depth is different from other people, right? And today the way I'm talking to you is very different from the way you might have met me at a retreat, or met me at over coffee, or met me at some dance class, or met me at some other event. It would be different, right? Because this is special, and then you want to feel special, right? Who doesn't want to feel special, right? So that is the power of boundaries. I know we are going very, very tangent all over the place, but I feel like if you go away with, it's not just archetypes we're teaching, everything is linked, and everything is linked. So these are the nuances. These are the nuances which are so important, and just the awareness. It's not like Chat GPT could not teach you this class. Neither could uh, a PowerPoint presentation. So that's what I want you to go away with. Yes, boundaries are different. People pleasing is different from overgiving. These things, right? Like that nuance. That nuance is special, right? Now, moving on to our next archetype, which is the wise woman. The wise woman is also called the crone in many places, but I don't like to call it crone, because crone is like old woman. And as we said, everyone has that wise woman within us. So we don't want to ageist her, right? So that is why wise woman. So her trait is wisdom and being worldly. She has had some earthly wisdom, worldly wisdom from her experience, right? So she has some worldly things and she has some wise things, wisdom things. What is some of her shadows things? Her shadow things is um, that she is rigid. ऐसा ही होता है, you know, हमारे टाइम से मैंने ऐसा ही देखा है. Because they have some worldly experiences, they have certain experiences. For example, she could have had a divorce and she knows that that has added worldly knowledge to her. Men and women cannot be friends. That's her worldly wisdom. That is her worldliness, which has taught her that when a man says, no, we are just friends, dude, lots of salt in there, not just a pinch, right? So something like a worldly thing that she knows, right? But she the shadow side is that they are rigid in their ways. ऐसा ही होता है, हमारे टाइम से चलता आया है. Everyone knows this. No, 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 there's no other way of doing it. Men and women just cannot be friends. It's just like that. What if they are fluid? What if one of them is gay? What if they've been, siblings? What if they are so many things, right? What if they were previously and now they just, there's so many things, right? But they are rigid in their ways. The other thing is that they look down on others who don't have the wisdom. So they look down on, I see a lot of divorced women, they look down on happy couples. Even we were like this. Even we were very lovey dovey in our first year. So they tend to look down on others who, in their opinion, are immature. They're like, tumne dekha hi kya hai, right? So they will have this, some maiden who is like, yes, I've started my new company, and this is someone who's had a startup. They're like, oh yeah, been there, done that. So that been there, done that thing is very much a Rooney says me. I wonder for what. So that feeling of been there, done that, I've done that, and I know what's on the other side, and it's no great stuff. So it's a little bit of an opposite of the maiden. The maiden is excitable, the maiden is in awe of the world. And the shadow side, the shadow, not the real wise woman ke good qualities, the shadow side of the wise woman is like, what's so great in that? I've just pretty much done all of that, and it's nothing special. So they tend to look down on others, while the maiden tends to look up, one of the good qualities. So if you have the shadow of the wise woman, that is like, then you want to start working more with the maiden archetype. Now you see like how, if you are in the shadow of one, you want to start working on the other. So if you're in the shadow of the queen, you want to start working with the high priestess energy. When you start to be like, oh, I am like such a diva and everyone needs to be like this, you want to go into the service. Like, I'm in service of people, of the high priestess. The high priestess is in service of. The queen is like, treat me like a queen. So when you've become too much of a diva, you want to step into your service, right? So that's another layer of working with the archetypes, how one plays up with the other. The immature side of the wise woman, there's nothing, like, because experience is experience. No one can take away your experiences. You cannot fake what you have felt. If you have felt pain, you felt it. There is no way out of it. Like, there is no, it is your lived experience. So if it is your lived experience, it is your lived experience, whether it's hurt, whether it's pain, whatever it is. So there is no immature way of being a crone, right? So now let's do some journaling on this. The wise woman journaling is, what truths about this world do I already know? And they can be good truths about the world that you already know, that everything works out in the end, or everything happens for the good, or it could be some bittersweet truths of the world that right? That marriages take work from both sides, or something like that. So we're going to go for 1 minute and write all the truths that you know. Feel very wise. a wise woman? Is that the question? Yeah, so the wise woman is also your third eye, wisdom, knowingness. Time is up, girls. So let's see some truths. We are way over time. So we're going to hurry things up, or maybe we'll call it a day over here. What's meant for me will never walk past. Oh, I love these. What's meant for me will never walk past me. Having 100% faith on universe's plans. So beautiful. Uh, there is no 100% kind of unconditional love from anyone apart from the God. Absolutely. And from ourselves to a certain extent, if we give ourselves unconditional love, but some conditions, yeah, I like that also. Life is happening for me, not to me. So true. I mean, if that can be your truth, nothing like it. Life has ups and downs. Absolutely. All of these are quotable quotes, t-shirt quotes that we can just pretty much all agree to. So yeah, so these are the truths. And every truth is a truth. As I said, there is no immature, there's no faking it. If it is your lived experience, then it is your lived experience, right? It's not a quotable quote, it's your truth. For someone, it might be true that there is no 100% kind of unconditional love apart from God. And there is no questioning that, because that is her truth. That is her experience. That has been her wisdom. And that is the wisdom that she lives by. That's the wisdom that she will share with others. We are here, Rooney says, we are here on earth to experience the good, the bad, the ugly. And that's all they are, experiences. Absolutely. I have a tattoo which says we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Yeah, they're all experiences. So at a certain level, we can all agree to these experiences, all agree to these truths. They are at the core of it truths. Some of us have lived it, some of us may not have, but we know it, right? So that is the wise woman, and we all get to be wise. All our experiences are making us wiser and wiser. So that is so beautiful. Every single day, we get wiser, right? So that was the wise woman, right? Um, Now, the next two archetypes are kind of opposites of each other. Wise woman is the third eye. So the next two archetypes are complex archetypes. We won't go into too much detail on them. I have a YouTube video on it, so you can watch that YouTube video for a little more perspective. Just because we are going over time for this class, I mean, girls, this is work, this is life work. We obviously cannot cover everything of it, and of course I invite you to, come join me, learn. There's a whole program called Alchemy of Archetypes, and like just have all the knowledge for yourself. So the two next archetypes are the good girl and the wild woman. The good girl has all the chakras, and the wild woman has all the chakras. The good girl has all the chakras subdued in her, and the wild woman has all the chakras activated in her. For the girls who've been asking me about the chakras, right? So now the good girl is obedient, disciplined, consistent, has got strong ethics, right? So she lives by beautiful ethics. She loves good rules. She follows those rules, right? So if I say come on time, they come on time. If I say do this homework, they do the homework, and they also get the results, because that is how the world works. You do, good girls, right? Now, what are the shadow side? Because they have strong ethics, they may be judgmental. They may have a very strong sense of what is right and what is wrong, and they may judge the things that are wrong. ये गलत है, open marriages galat hai, cheating galat hai, so many things galat hai. Whatever does not agree with her level of strong ethics is wrong for her. So they have a strong idea. That strong idea of right and wrong becomes rigid. So they become rigid in their ways and they become judgmental, right? Now, the wild woman, on the other hand, she is driven by strong desires, passionate, right? Okay, so if you want to journal on the good girl, let's do a little journaling, because it's always, I feel like the journaling is helping you girls, right? It's helping you find your own versions, right? So it's giving you clarity about who you are. So let's do a 1 minute journaling on the good girl. The good girl's journaling is, what are my values? Simple. What are my values? Do you understand? The Lord has the high priestess and the third eye. So the third eye is, as we go higher with our chakras, they get more subtle. So the third eye is for you to connect with your higher self and with your intuition, right? So, and it also is the bridge between your intuition and your lower chakra. So that part is your high priestess. It helps you to connect with your higher powers and your body. So it gets your intuition, right? And it helps you connectivity, connect with source, as we said, temple. While the wise woman, the third eye is also knowing, opening of your third eye. When you know a truth, it is your lived experience. That truth is your truth. One thing is universal truth or God's truth, and the other thing is your truth, right? So your truth is the wise woman when her eyes open to her truth, right? So Timsi says freedom, honesty, compassion, flexibility, love, beautiful values to live by. Diana says autonomy, connection, growth, joy, love, creating, beautiful values to have and hold. So, this is what the good girl lives by. She has, so the values will help you to guide what is good and bad, or what is good and what should I say? What is good for you? What is right for you? Right? Your right? Now let's talk about the wild woman. The wild woman, as I said, is all systems blazing. There's again, because these are complex archetypes, there's so much layering between them because it's all the chakras, but she is driven by strong desires. Like imagine a wild animal. They are driven by desire. They are driven by passion. A wild woman is a go-getter. A wild woman is audacious, like those audacious dreams that you have, just the, and is a rule breaker. Now there is an immature version also of the wild woman, that is the rule breaker who is a wild child. So she's a disruptive. So she's disruptive to a fault. Like, oh, they said you have to wear pants, I will wear skirt. They said today's theme is to wear white, I will wear red. They said to wear formals, I will wear informals. Makes no sense. that is just breaking the rules for the sake of breaking the rules. Again, it's an immature form because they've not really embodied what it means to be a disruptor, what it means to be a, a change maker. They are like, oh, what is the change I can make? They said you can, you should wear traditional. I will wear non-traditional. Because they said that you should do this, I will not do this. Right? So that is dheet, which we say like a wild child. It's an immature version. So she's a wild child. Right? Willful. Willful. नहीं मैं नहीं करूंगी. No logic, no embodying of it. While the wild woman is a go-getter, she's a rule breaker, and not because she wants to break the rule, but she makes the rules. She makes different rules. It's not like she's like, oh, they said women cannot do this, I will do this. No, it comes from a place of I want to do this. It doesn't matter if men, women, Indian, transgender, people from a middle class family have not done it. I want to do it. She is not following her dreams because it has not been done. She is following her dreams. She doesn't care if it has been done or not done. Later on, the world tells her, you know what? No middle class woman has ever made a Fortune 500 company or a unicorn brand or whatever, right? So that is where she is the wild woman. Great to work with when you are doing something crazy, like making a life worth, like making a life. Let's just stop it at that. Like each one of us, I love that we access that, be able to access that. Not all the time. You don't have to be in your wild woman all the time, but so being able to be that go-getter, rule breaker, and just do that thing, right? Live that audacious dream. What is the shadow side of the wild woman? Destroyer, because she's inconsistent. The good girl is consistent. You can preempt what she will do. Why? Because she lives by the values, right? So she lives by the values, and so those values tend to, that she's going to do this. But the wild woman does not live according to values. She lives according to the desire. She's like, yeah, but this, I'm going to do this. Maybe till now it was like, dude, what? You said you will never marry. Now you got married. You said you were going to work all your life. Now you want to be a housewife. You said you were never going to have kids. Now you have 6 kids. Driven by desire. I want to have 6 kids. I just want to give my life and support my children. And I want to support my husband. I want to do this. So a lot of people think that homemakers cannot be wild women. They can be. They've left big jobs, big high-paying jobs, and said, you know what? I really want to live this kind of life. They've left big jobs and become travel bloggers. Right? They're like, I just want to travel the world. Is it easy? It's not. Outside, it may seem easy. As a blogger, I know it's not easy. They've given up being so. Wild woman is stepping outside your comfort zone, right? So the journaling for the wild woman, one of the journaling, girls, please understand that there could be 20 to 30 journal prompts for each of the archetypes that we are working with, that I could work with you when we are working on one-on-ones or when we are working inside your life. But we are doing one thing in this complex thing. So the wild woman journaling prompt, which I've chosen, is, what rules or limitations do I want to break? What rules or limitations do I want to break? Now, these could be rules of society or limitations of your own, right? Rules or limitations of your own. Like, I have this limitation, I want to break that. Could be a financial, it could be questions here. What is the shadow side of the wild? Who is the wild child and all of that? Wild woman, chakras, all the chakras. What is the immature side of the good girl? The good girl in itself is a very immature archetype. That's why I said these are fairly complex archetypes. So the good girl comes, if she comes from a place of not her values, but come from a place of I want to be, I want to be this class monitor. I want to be everyone's favorite. I want to be praised for being a good girl. That is the immature who's like, देखो मैंने सब किया, देखो मैंने सब अच्छी तरह किया. See, I'm married to the same man for 25 years. See, I have 2 children. See, I quit my job and became a housewife. See, on the actions, it will be very difficult to say good girl, wild woman. The wild woman may also quit her job and become a housewife. The good girl may also leave her job and become a housewife. But it's the intention. If the good girl did it because people will say, wow, so nice, she did this, versus the wild woman did it because it was her desire. Balls to the world. She's like, I just want to do it. I don't care what others say. I'm just going to take 2 years off. I just want to enjoy motherhood. That's it. She is driven by desires, and this one is driven by log. I need to be praised for this occasion. So if ever a woman says, I gave up everything for my kids, then immature good girl. She did it because she wanted everyone to say, wow, she gave up everything for her kids. The wild woman, it was her highest pleasure. It was her highest desire. It was the best thing that she did for herself. Quit her job, looked after her kids. That was what she wanted to do unconditionally, doesn't need to tell anyone anything. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I could afford it and I did it. Thank you very much. Right? So it is a very fairly complex. It's the intention. It's you come to know when in the way they speak about their life. So Diana says the belief. So what was the question? What rules do I want to break? I want to break the belief that I have to make my company successful before I can take time, to finish writing my book. So that is a limiting belief that you want to break, which your wild woman would help you do. Like, dude, I want to write the book. Chuck everything else, right? In general, I don't feel so many limitations. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there could be limitations about something physical, like I don't think I can, so it's like that comfort zone. How can you step outside your comfort zone? So find the edge and see what is outside that edge, right? So that is how you come to know what would be. Yes. So that would be, I want to be a bit of a good girl. Absolutely. There are just so many wild childs going around in this world who think they are the wild woman going around in the world. And what they could really work with is being a bit of a good girl, being a bit of someone who has a little bit of obedience, discipline, consistency, and strong ethics. Those are the traits of the good girl. Why not? And good girls do really well in life, especially if they have a good mentor. When the mentor says that, yes, there would be so many girls over here who would be like, ha, theek hai, let her say. Journaling, I am not going to be bothered with journaling. Dude, I know, I mean, I'm not going to do it. She told me I'm not going to do it, right? But the good girl obediently would have been writing, I'm going to write, I'm going to make my notes. That just comes from that good girl thing. And there is so much value to be had from that. There is just like by the end of today's session, you know what brings you childlike excitement. You know what turns you on. You know what you want to protect. What brings you passion. What drives you in the direction. Shows you your best traits and gifts. What do you want to serve? What are your value systems? And what is the truth you know about this world? And how you what what kind of crazy rules that you want to break and make your life greater. I mean, by the end of it, you could have found some great gems, but many would have been like, I'm not just going to do it because, that comes from a wild child. And so beautiful to just step into being a good girl. Just having someone tell you, do this, and then doing it. And doing it because of your values and your ethics, not because you want to be praised by teacher. Oh wow, ma'am, see, I did this. No one is you're cheating no one, and no one is going to give you an award at the end of it. Only you can give yourself an award for it, right? And living a life according to just principles is so beautiful. Why not having your own principles? So last few questions, because we are into six. I'm sure that we did not, but I was glad. I thought that the minute I see lots of girls dropping out, I am going to call it a close. But I have just had the most amazing time, girls. I hope you've enjoyed, got a lot of value from this. If you want to take any of this deeper or more, then for sure reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is live multidimensional, and meet me over there, and we can see what uh, work that we can do together. I have my online courses, super simple to do it on at your own time. It is 21 days, and of course one-on-one coaching and everything else. So there's so much more. What I want to leave you with is this. It's the final archetype. And thank you very, very much. Our uh, Let me find her name. Who has been handling the evolved beings
Ritambra Kuheli. You're most welcome.
so much, because I am sure you had something else planned. You never expected that we would be going in for 2 hours. You've just been super patient with us. Great music played. Girls, give a big round of applause for Ritamra for playing such beautiful music, being just so supportive, and just giving you that masculine structure of timing, of the space, and holding space for us to have this class. So thank you so much. And yeah, the love.
You're most welcome, Kuheli. And I must say, the session was incredible. And I know that everyone here would agree on that. We really hope you made the most out of this session. And you can always reach out to Kuheli to kind of take it up to the next level. And you can also check the chat section to take up any of our upcoming retreats and sessions as well. Thank you so much, everyone.
So much. And Timsi says it was really amazing, insightful. Thank you, girls. Chetali says, thanks so much for amazing session. I'm so glad I'm meeting you girls, I think for the first time. So it's beautiful that in this kind of a short session, even without knowing, I don't know, maybe you follow me, but if you don't, like, you took such a leap of faith that, okay, I'm going to spend a Monday evening with and learn something about myself and something from someone else. Joanna, thank you for being here, girls. So the final archetype I'm going to leave you with is the goddess archetype. The goddess archetype is the shape-shifting archetype. To be able to move from one to the other takes a certain skill, takes a certain goddess level of thing. And all gods and goddesses, especially Indian gods and goddesses, work with archetypes. Durga is not just Durga. Durga, when she knows that she needs to go and Kali is going to be able to do it, or she wants her 64 different matrikas to go and do it, or she wants to be the mother to Kartik in the form of Skand Mata, or she wants to be a devotee in the form of Brahmacharini and devote her life to being a good girl, then she's the Brahmacharini, or she wants to be just a pleasure priestess in the form of Mahagauri, she gets to be these. If you want to do these archetypes of the 9 Durgas, I have a program. If you want to work with inner child with these different archetypes, again, it's in the same program called Devi. So Devi is awakening your inner goddess inside you, and the goddess is a shapeshifter. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, you are changing. Oh, you were not like this. How do you know how I was? It's for me to discover and you to know. It's for you to see. It's not for you to tell me, ये बुक का चैप्टर तो ऐसा नहीं लिखना चाहिए था. अरे बुक मैं लिख रही हूँ, तुम बस पढ़ो, right? And every book has plot twists. Don't tell me any movie you've seen and you're like, अरे ये ending तो नहीं होना चाहिए था. अरे ending is for the director to decide. You are the director of your life. Don't let anyone tell you or box you into, oh, you can't be this, or you are this kind of archetype, or you are just this one human design, or you are just this one enneagram, and you are just this one sun sign. And everyone has a way to embody the goddess within you, and each one of us is going to be different versions, right? But everyone works. Vishnu works with archetypes. Mohini is an archetype of Vishnu, Ram is an archetype of Vishnu, Krishna is an archetype of Vishnu. No one went and told Ram, dude, Ram, how dare you go and, do these things with Krishna, in the form of Krishna. We did not expect this from you. No one tells Vishnu, we did not expect Ram to, show up as Krishna and then, play around with women. He was a one man woman, only Sita. And then he goes around with so many women. No, I mean, what Ram can do, Krishna can't do. So, and all are the same God, all are Vishnu, and we respect and revere everyone. And we need to respect and revere ourselves. We get to write this book, make it interesting, girls. That's the only thing that you need to do, is make your lives interesting. If the last thing that this class taught you is like, I'm just going to make my life interesting, and it just makes you feel less apologetic, more unapologetic about who you are, then yes. Sorry for leaving early. God, we have held this class for a very long time. Thank you, girls, once more for reaching out, for being in this class. And yes, be in touch with me, write into me. I love to hear more about your lives. I just love to hear how things are moving. It's just amazing stories. Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye. Do I log out or does this